when I was growing up in Brooklyn, my father was in and out of jail my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So I never got the messaging that I needed that would have matriculated me into my manhood sooner.
Okay.
And ironically, all of the things about my life, like my marriage, my kids, so many of those things activated me to start pursuing that space. Were there things in your life, like your marriage, or even your former marriage, or your kids? What were the things that made you feel like, okay, you know what? I got to start doing this better. I gotta get to an elevated space of manhood.
I think the biggest thing is the opportunity to change the narrative or conversation. You know what I mean? Like you just got finished saying that your father wasn't around. You had a different type of upbringing and what you were accustomed to. So for me, I think being from the same type of background of a dad that wasn't really around, in and out, no consistency, really, you not having a true definition of what the powerful side of fatherhood looks like. You piecing together what you think it looks like. So for me now, it's just being in control of defining it myself. I'm rewriting the history that's attached to my last name as to what fatherhood should be and will be for my kids to take and pass on. So I think that's the biggest win and the biggest bonus for me. It's I'm creating something that they're going to grow up with and say, no, my dad was here. My
Right.
dad spent time with us doing this, and that. Like, this was a very valuable resource for me. Like, that to me is the best thing.
Right. Every time I experience you in what you do with your wife, with your kids, it's always looking to see what they need and how you cover them as a man. Is that something that's conscious for you? And was that ever something that another man spoke to you about, or was that just something that you just felt like you needed to do as father and husband?
You become a sponge of the environments that you surround yourself in. So the more good quote unquote men that you're around,
Yeah.
those cadences rub off. You
Yes.
you pick up on these things. You draw a high level of notice to these things. Wow, man, this guy makes sure he's home every night to eat dinner with his family. Wow, this guy makes sure Sundays are about walks in the parks and bike rides, or the afternoon occasional milkshake with his wife and his kids. The things that you see older men prioritize, it draws you to want and do the same. So I can say that, as I've gotten older, I can pay a high level of homage to the older men that helped raise me without even knowing that they were raising me.
Yes.
These older men that are in the business that stepped away from the faster side of the business and embrace what's consumed to be the slower side, but truly is the best side. When you are, hey man, it's not about the nightclubs, it's about the movie nights. It's not about the bottles being popped like they once were. It's about a glass of wine with your wife and sitting down, and the kids and everybody's homework is done, and seeing them off to school. Like, it's things change. So my conversation, my priorities have changed because I've changed,
Hmm.
and I've been able to change because I saw the change that others made, and how it was for the better for them.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to get left behind and stay in the world of shit. I wanna do what I can to get out and clean my sneakers and just
Yeah.
walk differently, and do different. And,
Hmm.
and it's been nothing but a blessing thus far.
Me, I've often said that our job, we know that our job with our sons is to be the model that we want them to mirror.
Yes,
But the
yes.
job that we play with our daughters is extremely important because eventually the man that they eventually shop for their own life
Hmm.
really is a testament to who we are as men. Are there conversations that you have with heaven, being mindful of the fact that you are the dress rehearsal for what she ultimately will walk out in relationships, in her own relationships later on. Is that something that's mindful for you as the man and the first man, the first love of her life?
Well, I think for me, my biggest thing with my daughter is raising my daughter to understand not only who she is, but what she is and the things that she can be. Right? It's my job to provide an environment for you to learn and understand and eventually leave from feeling like you're ready to conquer whatever it is that you want.
Right.
As a man, and being, like you said, this first man that she's fallen in love with and that, is her everything. um I don't know if you're going to be able to duplicate this, but actually I do know that you're never going to be able to duplicate this. This is a different thing that you and I have and that I give. This love that we have is different. It's not going to be matched. You're going to find some other love and you're going to be in love, but nobody's ever going to match this. You should never look to compare or find this. This love is about making you realize that you're loved and that you deserve love.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. My daughter deserves love.
Yes.
And knowing that, I would only hope that she takes this and embeds it in her mind and says, moving forward, you know what? If a man doesn't love me, then that man isn't worth my time. I deserve love. My dad showed me that. So that's the example that I try to be. But not, not with a crazy amount of pressure attached to it. Like I try to be on it, but I try to be less is more. It's a weird tug of war.
Yes.
Tug of war, man, because you don't want to do too much or try to be too much because it can come off as aggressive and crazy dominant. Like I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm here.
Right.
When you want me to be here, Daddy's always here.
Yeah.
But I'm not going out and searching for why you gotta have me here. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? I want you to build up that confidence. And I think she has so far.
Yeah. Were these things conversations that you remember ever having with your father, or are you having these conversations as a result of not having them with your father, and so what do now is going to need in order for him to matriculate into his manhood?
I gotta say, from my dad didn't do a lot, but my dad did give me that dog. That dog in me. Like
The fight.
Yeah, you're not gonna run over me. You're not gonna,
Yeah.
tell me what I can't do. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like there's a certain thing that I have that I know was implemented to me and embedded in me from my dad. My mom gave me this never give up, never quit. There's always more. And my will to win and do so much comes from my mother. But my dad gave me this edge, and that's one thing that I want to make sure that my son has is that edge. I don't want you to assume that things should be a certain way because of what we so happen to have,
Right.
and the life that we're living. That's not how it's supposed to be. It doesn't have to be this way. So if you ever do go out here and get knocked in the head or punched in the face, you got to know how to react. And that doesn't just mean physical. That just means with life's ups and downs. You can get punched in the face with an up. You can get punched in the face with a down. You can get punched in the face with a real fist. But you got to have a child that's in a position to know how to react.
Yes.
And that's what my conversations with my son are about. It's understanding, it's being aware, it's knowing. And when you know, then you're always a step ahead within preparation.
The only thing you need in order to be a male is a penis and a pulse. Like if you got one of these and you're living, then you're in the club as a male. A penis and a pulse. But in order to be a man, you got to have purpose and precision. Every man's purpose is to be able to serve the women and children in his life. And our precision is about how well we go about doing that. Was there ever a point where you either were found out or you let somebody down in your life, whether it was your kids or your wife or, or or your dad, your brother, whoever that is, and you had a conversation with yourself and you said, man, whoa, I got to do this differently.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely let
Elevate my manhood.
I definitely let people down. I definitely let my wife down. My public up was a massive letdown to her. That was the first reality check of, yo, you gotta get your shit together. You gotta move differently and correctly. In that regard, I let my kids down too. That's something that everybody felt the butt of. So it's not a one sided thing where I only let you down. No, we're whole. So oh wow, I realized the real massive consequences to my fuck ups. So I think in doing that, when you see that and you feel that, it sounds crazy, but sometimes it takes something dark like that for you to get to an amazing light.
Yes.
The light that I saw after that was one that it's not that I didn't see it, but I may not have really paid attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
I should have.
Mm-hmm. And this time it wasn't going to go away. It wasn't going to allow you to ignore it.
Yeah, this was a light that not only got your attention, it held it.
Yeah.
So you got to respond correctly.
Yeah.
You can't play around with those moments. You can't take those moments for granted.
What did that do for you when you got to sit with yourself, to have a conversation with yourself, to go, man, what am I even doing to myself?
I mean, that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
That look in the mirror, that conversation of pointing to you when it's only you, that's the real world.
Yeah.
When you're here, you versus you.
Yes.
Those are the real conversations. Those are the what the
Yep.
because there's nobody else but you.
Yep.
So for me, having gut check reality moments and conversations where you truly are fine with holding yourself accountable are how you get the best results for you. You got to be able to check you. If you can't check you, then you shouldn't be checking anybody.
Let me ask you this, and this is we'll probably wrap on this. What would be some of the things that you would tell your younger male self that would allow him to better matriculate into manhood?
I would say embrace these moments because you're going to see that these same moments that you are so hard on yourself about are the moments that are truly helping to shape, mold, and define you, and ultimately make you understand what being an adult is fully about.
Mm-hmm.
Being a grown man is really about. Um, once upon a time, really being like, oh my God, I'm in a I'm in a space where I'm up, man. Damn, I'm so hard on myself. Look what I did. Look what I did. Well, all of those things that I did, they were things that I learned from.
Learning moments, yes, indeed.
You can't be this picture of perfection without so many blemishes and imperfections.
Absolutely.
That's ultimately how you get there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
be okay with the road full of cobblestone that you're going down because it's eventually going to get smooth. That's what I would tell myself.
Man, brother, I thank you for having this conversation with me. It's so important. Our brothers need to be able to hear that being a man doesn't mean that we're perfect, but it does mean that we're in pursuit of it.
There you go.
And that we can make mistakes, and that we can restore, resuscitate ourselves, and there's still a pathway forward.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
it's good, fam. Yo, when we get through this,
I love you, champ.
when I love you back, man. We go back a long way, bro.
Yes,
And
sir.
just watching your growth, Watching your evolution, watching your transformation has been awesome, man. I'm supremely proud of you. As soon as we get through all of this, man, you know what's coming.
Yes, sir.
You know what's coming.
I'm
Love
excited.
to the missus and the fam, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, boy.
Bye, bro.